In the aftermath of the national anthem, you were blackballed from the league. 20 years later, Colin Kaepernick is involved in the same situation. What can you tell me some similarities in the same things that he was going through that you were going through?
Well, he was publicly condemned for his statements. You know, because of our labels, people don't necessarily, when we label ourselves and we allow society to label us, they don't see the rest of us. Right? So when you're an actress, an actor, an athlete, anytime you say something outside of that framework, it's sacrilegious. It's viewed as, ridiculous, shut up and dribble.
Right.
You don't have the capacity to speak in this lane. So this is the same thing that happened to him. And also, I don't know what his career was like before, but the diminishing minutes that he began to receive as a result. Because as soon as I saw him, like, wow, this is similar.
Mm-hmm.
Because one thing, they start playing you less. And then they have a media that's backing them too.
Social media now.
So, well, not just that, but a media that says, oh,
he's lost it.
He's lost it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He can't play anymore.
Yeah.
To justify getting you out the league.
He can't throw. He can't
so
do this.
I'm looking at all. I'm like, wow, this is so similar. The death threats, right? All of that, and these are every. This is like the playbook, right? And it's everything that I went through. I'm like, so that's why I sent him immediately. I think I was new on social media at the time. I said, look, I'm for you 1,000%. I just wanted to send my voice out, but it wasn't surprising. I mean, history is replete with these examples of every time a person, in particular a black athlete, speaks up about something, he's automatically condemned and dehumanized. Yeah, because you don't want other people to be attracted to that.
Right.
Right. It's like he might influence, kind of like what Noam Chomsky said, the threat of a good example. Right. So, he might infect the rest of them. They might start thinking in terms of trying to make a difference, social change.
Right.
And you mentioned social media, and that was the biggest difference from our time to his time. And I knew it was different, but it didn't resonate to me until Dr. Harry Edwards, the ones that influenced John Carlos and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to take those positions. He said to me, I'm not gonna say this, because I think anytime anyone takes a position, no matter how big or great, you applaud it, you try to support it as much as humanly possible. But people are gonna compare.
Regardless.
And he was like, Mahmoud, he said, when Muhammad Ali took his position, he said they had a movement backing it, the Black Power movement, that they can frame it under. When Kaepernick did what he did, they had the Black Lives Matter movement that they can frame it under. He said what made it easier because you can attach it to something.
Right.
He said when you and Craig did what you did, they didn't have no movement. It's like you were in an ocean all alone.
Yep.
He said, which made that tougher. I said, wow, I didn't think about that like that. I said, that's deep. That's why he is who he is.
Right.
Right. But I could only imagine, because a lot of the letters, man, when we were moving, I had a trash bag and the dude confused the trash bag from the trash. And I had so many letters of people, hate mail, but I had just as many, if not more, support from Jews, Christians, atheists, and they were breaking down history, right? And I understood that, as a system always, right? There's an agenda, and more people, I think, than not on the street, because the post is on the street. When you go to barbershops and when you go mostly anywhere, the private conversations people are having, many people know what's happening. They know, they're disgusted, they're upset, they're struggling, white and black.
Right.
They're struggling. But there's this cognitive dissonance, America's great, but it's so terrible.
Bad, yep.
But no, you got to deal with the terrible. It's so bad that, they say, look, by 2050, blacks' generational income will be zero. It takes 228 years just to reach economic parity with Europeans, generational wealth. For mostly every medium income family, if you were to reduce their income and sell everything and come back with liquid, they'll have $1,000 and some to their name. But whites and Europeans will have 100 and some thousand. This is unjust.
Right.
So there's so many things people, are aware of. And Yeah, so when that was happening, all of these thoughts, you know, like, wow, this is a part of it. This is a blueprint. This is what they do, because they don't want people to know. They don't want people to find out. And I'm just determined, man, for as long as I live to the day I die, as much information as I can, whoever will listen, I'm gonna say something. But I also love to listen.
Right.
You know, and all those two things are how you learn. This is the time, well, it's always been the time. We have so many people that are silent when the truth, you know, begs for advocacy, begs for supporters, you know, to speak their conscience, man. And I think this is one of the biggest challenges that we face. But I understand where it's coming from. There's a lot of people that are fearful because time and again, history has shown that you got to play the game, because if you don't, you know, you might lose your job.
Right.
You might lose your life, right? But we're going to die anyway.
Right.
You know, brother told me, he said, man, none of us going to make it out here alive. So you got a choice. You know, do you want to leave on the bed of truth or the bed of falsehood? And I know it's easier said than done.
Right.
Because we so caught up in this materialism, like, well, yeah, I don't want to leave. No, man. Look, George Washington Carver said, no one has the right to come into this world and go out of it without leaving behind distinct and legitimate reasons for having passed through it. So when it's all said and done, it's about leaving a legacy worth leaving. And we all got a choice. And for me, look, I'm not perfect. None of us are.
None of us
I
are.
have my flaws. I'm not the most eloquent and articulate and smartest guy in the world. But I know where my heart lies. And I know what my intentions are. And forever I'm going to strive to be better and to benefit people as much as I can, you know, as much as I can.
Another question, y'all. How important it is today for us to control our own narrative?
Super important to control our own narrative, because most of our existence, our narrative has been controlled. What was that African proverb? Until lions become this. I hate when I can't do this, but it's growing up, when you hear stories about Africa, when you hear stories about, even if it's listening to the commentary on Kyrie, right? It's important to do the research, to be analytical, to investigate for yourself, and also to own your own story. Because, like, even with documentaries, there are people, if you don't own certain things, they can demand that, look, we don't want that shown.
Right.
We want this out. And it can change the breadth of the conversation tremendously.
Completely,
You know, so that's a part of having power, being able to tell our stories. You know, you can talk about economic power, you can talk, that's important too, but that's a part of it. You gotta own your story and tell it the right way.